only in Las Vegas. It's not uncommon to witness something unusual here, like someone emerging from a manhole in the middle of a busy intersection.
Only in Vegas, dude.
What the?
Yes, even this is part of the multifaceted reality of this iconic city. Known worldwide for its glitzy casinos, vibrant neon lights, and non-stop nightlife, Las Vegas has another side that most visitors never encounter. Behind the dazzling facade of Sin City lies a sobering truth: thousands of people trapped in poverty, living without stable shelter. According to the latest local government data, nearly 8,000 people in Las Vegas are experiencing homelessness, a staggering 20% rise compared to the previous year. This harsh statistic paints a stark contrast to the city's reputation as a playground of dreams, where fortunes are won and lost on casino floors. For many, the reality here is far from glamorous. It's about survival in the shadows of a city built on fantasy. A significant portion of this vulnerable population struggles with mental health issues and substance abuse, trapped in cycles that are hard to break. Just a short distance from the luxury of the Strip, the grim realities of street life come into full view. Far from the laughter and bright lights inside the city's opulent hotels, this is the hidden, often ignored side of homelessness in Las Vegas. The issue of homelessness in Las Vegas is growing, driven by a complex web of economic and social factors. In 2022, over 5,600 people were documented as homeless in the city, with more than half lacking any kind of permanent shelter. A major contributor to this crisis is the soaring cost of housing, which has dramatically outpaced the average income of many residents. For every 100 low-income renters, there are only 14 affordable housing units available. This severe shortage leaves many with no choice but to spend more than 30% of their income on rent, creating a precarious financial situation. For families and individuals already teetering on the edge, even a small, unexpected expense can trigger a descent into homelessness. Las Vegas, for all its grandeur and allure, reveals a sharp divide, one where wealth and luxury sit in stark contrast to desperation and deprivation. It's a city of dreams for some, but for others, it's where dreams fade away entirely. Mental health struggles and substance addiction are key contributors to homelessness in Las Vegas. Many individuals on the streets face battles with addiction and unresolved childhood trauma, making it incredibly challenging to escape their circumstances and rebuild.
Studies reveal that nearly 2/3 of Las Vegas's homeless population became homeless due to unemployment. Interestingly, this group generally has lower rates of mental health or addiction issues. However, those who lose their homes to eviction or family disputes are significantly more likely to experience both addiction and mental health challenges, which often compound their difficulties.
Interestingly, this group generally has lower rates of mental health or addiction issues. However, those who lose their homes to eviction or family disputes are significantly more likely to experience both addiction and mental health challenges, which often compound their difficulties. The COVID-19 pandemic further worsened the homelessness crisis. The end of eviction moratoriums, coupled with a severe lack of affordable housing, left many families with no place to go. While local authorities have implemented measures to address this issue, the ongoing housing shortage continues to push more people into homelessness, underlining the growing urgency of this problem. In downtown Las Vegas, near places like Catholic Charities, homeless individuals gather daily, hoping for a spot in emergency shelters. Yet for many, this hope fades quickly as shelters fill up early, leaving countless people to wait outside for hours without success. This grueling routine highlights the fragility and harshness of life on the streets. The extreme desert climate of Las Vegas only magnifies the challenges.
During the summer, temperatures regularly exceed 110 degrees Fahrenheit, 43 degrees Celsius, turning the streets into an unbearable furnace.
In the winter, the desert's sharp nighttime cold presents equally serious threats to anyone sleeping outdoors. The relentless heat of the day and the frigid night air create ongoing health risks, forcing the homeless population into a constant struggle against the elements. Beyond the bustling downtown streets, some of Las Vegas's homeless population seek refuge in an unexpected and dangerous place: the flood control tunnels beneath the city. Known as the mole people, these individuals include the homeless, drug addicts, and those fleeing the dangers of life above ground. It's estimated that roughly 1,500 people live within these tunnels, which stretch for hundreds of miles beneath the neon-lit casinos and luxury hotels of the city. Originally constructed to manage flash floods during rare bouts of heavy rain, the tunnels are typically dry, creating an unintended shelter for those with nowhere else to turn. However, life underground is fraught with constant challenges and dangers that people on the surface rarely face. The most immediate and deadly threat is sudden flooding, which can send torrents of water rushing through the tunnels in minutes, sweeping away anything or anyone in its path. In addition to this ever-present risk, unsanitary conditions foster the rapid spread of disease, while violence among residents poses another constant danger. Despite these hazards, many tunnel dwellers find this life preferable to living on the surface streets, where they often encounter police raids and conflicts with other homeless individuals. The isolation of the tunnels, while dangerous, offers a form of refuge from the relentless pressures above ground. Even in this hidden world, there are glimmers of connection to society. Charities like Shine a Light regularly venture into the tunnels, offering aid, resources, and a pathway to escape the grip of poverty and addiction. Some mole people also emerge from the shadows at night, scavenging for food and supplies while avoiding the gaze of the busy city above. For many, the tunnels provide a fragile sense of shelter, a brief respite from the brutality of life on the streets, despite the hazards and uncertainty that define their existence. Homelessness isn't just a physical struggle, it's also a relentless battle against the stigma and discrimination that follows those living on the streets. Negative stereotypes and public perceptions often worsen their situation, pushing them even further into the margins of society. Many people view the homeless as a burden or even as dangerous, rarely taking the time to understand the complex, often heartbreaking circumstances that lead to such a life. This harsh judgment makes it significantly harder for homeless individuals to secure jobs, find stable housing, or even be treated with the basic respect and dignity that everyone deserves. In their fight to survive, many homeless people resort to whatever means they can to make ends meet. Some turn to panhandling, collecting recyclable materials, or taking up informal, low-paying jobs. Yet even in these small, desperate efforts, they frequently become targets of exploitation. Unscrupulous individuals prey on their vulnerability, taking advantage of their dire need for money or basic resources. Homeless individuals often face harassment, violence, and, in extreme cases, human trafficking. Many are forced into illegal labor or endure physical abuse, trapped in an endless cycle of exploitation and desperation. Health issues present another overwhelming challenge for the homeless. The story of Carl Graves, as reported by ReviewJournal.com, illustrates just how dire the situation can be. After losing his apartment in Las Vegas due to financial hardships, Graves, a 44-year-old man living with bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, and epilepsy, found himself spiraling. Unable to cope, he swallowed dozens of pills in a desperate attempt to manage his mental health. While he was rushed to the hospital and survived, his recovery left him back on the streets, vulnerable and without the stability he needed to heal. Stories like Graves's are far too common in Las Vegas, where the instability of street life only worsens existing health issues. Living without access to proper hygiene, nutrition, or medical care takes a heavy toll on the homeless population. Chronic illnesses, such as tuberculosis, skin infections, and respiratory diseases are widespread. The constant exposure to unsanitary conditions only heightens the risk. Untreated mental health disorders, like bipolar disorder and schizophrenia, often worsen under the unrelenting stress and trauma of street life. Without safe housing, regular meals, or adequate health care, these individuals face a rapid decline in both physical and mental health. It's a vicious cycle. Poverty and homelessness exacerbate their illnesses, and those very illnesses make it nearly impossible to escape the grip of homelessness. Access to health care remains a critical challenge for the homeless population. Most individuals living on the streets lack health insurance and reliable transportation, leaving them with no choice but to rely on emergency rooms as their primary source of medical care. While the expansion of Medicaid in Nevada in 2014 offered some relief, it hasn't bridged the gap entirely. Local surveys show that 40.2% of homeless individuals still depend on emergency services to meet their basic healthcare needs. This over-reliance on emergency rooms fails to provide the comprehensive, preventive care they need. It also places a tremendous strain on the healthcare system and taxpayers, as the rising costs of emergency visits deplete public resources. The lack of regular medical care often leads to worsening health conditions, creating a vicious cycle of escalating medical crises and financial burden for the city. Impact on the city of Las Vegas. Homelessness has a profound impact on Las Vegas, affecting both the community and the city's infrastructure. The increasing number of homeless individuals contributes to a range of social issues, including higher crime rates, public disorder, and a decline in the city's overall image. Public spaces, often crowded with people in need, disrupt the comfort of both residents and tourists, adding to the challenges of managing this growing crisis. In addition to social concerns, homelessness significantly strains city resources. Emergency services, healthcare systems, and public assistance programs bear the brunt of these demands, with the associated costs falling heavily on the shoulders of local taxpayers. These compounding issues make it clear that homelessness is not just an individual challenge, it's a community-wide concern. The City of Las Vegas, in partnership with numerous NGOs, is actively working to combat homelessness through targeted support programs. Initiatives like the Courtyard Homeless Resource Center offer integrated services, including temporary housing, medical care, and job training opportunities. Other shelters, such as the Las Vegas Rescue Mission and the Shade Tree, provide accommodation and recovery programs for those in need. Despite these efforts, several obstacles hinder progress. Limited funding, overcrowded shelters, and a lack of transportation make it difficult for many to access these resources. Additionally, social stigma and the absence of proper identification documents prevent some homeless individuals from utilizing available services. These challenges contribute to the persistence of homelessness, keeping many people trapped in a cycle of instability. The sight of makeshift tents and faces marked by exhaustion serves as a sobering reminder of the inequality hidden beneath the glitz of Las Vegas. The stark contrast between the city's luxurious entertainment and the struggles of its homeless population underscores the growing social divide in the heart of this iconic destination.